The Hot Toys collecting landscape, it's changing. And whether you're a veteran collector or a new collector, you may have noticed, or you soon will notice, that the changes are occurring pretty swiftly. There are changes to the pre-ordering process, to the exclusivity of figures, and really just the 1/6 collecting hobby as a whole. So today we're gonna break that all down, talk about what the pre-ordering process looks like moving forward, and talk about some of the factors that have initiated these changes and what we as collectors can do to adapt to them. But before we do that, make sure to click the like button, click that subscribe button, and click the notification bell so you are notified when content goes live on this channel. That said, let's analyze our Hot Toys collecting environment and our circumstances and try to make sense of all these changes. So let's start with an informal definition of what a pre-order is. A PO, or a pre-order, is essentially a collector securing a unit of a figure through an order. So you're essentially saying, I want to buy this figure, and when it's ready to ship, I want you to ship it to me and I will pay the rest of my amount owed for that figure. So usually with a pre-order, it entails a 10 to 20% non-refundable deposit, also referred to as an NRD. So you're paying that retailer 10 to 20% of the overall cost of the figure to secure one unit for you. Prior to maybe the middle of 2023, collectors were accustomed to not pre-ordering Hot Toys figures because they were so overproduced in such large quantities that it was financially unwise to do so. And the remnants of this era are still sitting on digital shelves today, showing just how devalued the brand of Hot Toys was due to massive overproduction. Retailers and collectors alike knew that eventually this ride was going to end and the buyer's market was going to swing the pendulum back in the other direction towards limited availability. So the question is, where are we now? And is this a good space to be in? Two questions. It may actually sound counterintuitive, but Hot Toys collecting is actually in a much healthier place today because figures are generally way less available. Still though, excluding figures with some sort of exclusive aspect like artisan or a timed release, pre-order windows are still kept open for long periods of time with major retailers. Typically, pre-order windows are closed when Sideshow has a reasonable level of certainty that they have enough data to assess the demand for a specific figure. Incentivizing pre-orders is the same thing as incentivizing commitment. If I'm a retailer and if I'm Hot Toys and if I have collectors who aren't willing to pre-order with me, that tells me that they're not really committed to purchasing my products. And if I'm a retailer and the consumer's telling me they're not committed to my product, why should I be? And I think a lot of this stems back to the COVID-19 pandemic. So collecting and the COVID-19 pandemic, they surged congruently. As one went up, so did the other. The derogatory term COVID collector emerged from this time period as many people were stuck in their homes with no recognizable way to spend their money or their time, and stimulus checks were coming in, so the economy was being boosted artificially. This caused a lot of people to find an outlet in Hot Toys collecting and gave Hot Toys and retailers alike a false sense of security in regards to the actual demand for these figures. Well, as the world reopened, the demand for Hot Toys greatly reduced, and the market was left oversaturated as figures clearly outpaced demand. Now, the market has corrected itself by reducing figure availability significantly in an effort to bring value back to the brand of Hot Toys. Probably the most marked and notable way that Hot Toys did this was the introduction of the Artisan line. So if you're unfamiliar, the Artisan line essentially is Hot Toys' top tier premium line of figures, where they have sort of iconic characters that are introduced from various IPs, and they have wool-rooted hair at high prices. So these are the type of figures that collectors would pay for because the character is just that good and the quality is just that good, and they're limited. There have only been a handful of Artisan figures announced for pre-order thus far, but each of them were highly limited and sold out very quickly. For US collectors, these figures were purchasable on Sideshow, but in very limited quantities. Usually Sideshow carried an undefined number, likely ranging from 1,000 to a few thousand, all of which sold out in under an hour, usually far quicker than that. There also have been other exclusive figure drops for non-Artisan Hot Toys figures that also sold out very quickly. These figures were sold on Sideshow Collectibles via a randomized queue, and they also were sold in very limited quantities ranging from under 1,000 to a few thousand. These types of exclusive figures weren't the only exclusives being utilized during the last year or two though. Time pre-orders and Sideshow exclusive versions have also become a thing now. Time pre-orders are essentially when Sideshow Collectibles designates a window of time, usually about 2 to 3 weeks, in which an exclusive variant of a figure is available for pre-order. Usually these exclusive editions come with some sort of exclusive accessory for the figure, like an additional head sculpt or even a coin like the Star Wars Darkside line figures. So these Sideshow exclusive editions are very interesting because they're another way of incentivizing pre-orders among your consumer base. So you have collectors who want that exclusive accessory, they want something that not everyone's going to have, so they'll put their money down early early to show their commitment and pre-order that item. And Sideshow is also rewarding that behavior by shipping those versions of the figure first. So if you bought an exclusive version from Sideshow, it's far more likely to ship a lot faster than the standard edition or just the regular deluxe. There's a lot of editions these days, but the exclusive one is the one that ships the fastest. From 2023 to 2024 alone, we've seen a rapid increase in the announcement of exclusive figures from Hot Toys. We have 10 exclusive announcements in the first 5 months of 2024, which is one more than the entirety of 2023. Hot Toys is clearly leaning into these exclusive offerings, and that's in order to bring value and status back to their brand. All of this change leads us to a very important question. Where does this leave the pre-ordering process now and moving forward? Well, humans generally learn best through consequence. And consequence for a collector usually means missing out on a figure you want at retail price and paying market value, which is usually significantly higher. So all this to say, there are generally 3 options as it pertains to pre-ordering Hot Toys today. The first option being you pay the 10 to 20% NRD, you pre-order the figure, and you secure your unit or copy of that figure. If you need to cancel, you're likely to lose that NRD, but if you want it, you want to pre-order it early so you can have it and make sure you're going to get that figure. The second option, you wait till it releases, and you're more than likely paying above retail. You're paying market value, which is usually higher, sometimes significantly so. The third option, you don't pre-order the figure at all. Those are it. This is the new normal that we need to adapt to. And for collectors who started sometime between 2020 to 2022, this may be a harder thing to do because you're used to oversaturation and so much availability. But the way that Hot Toys and really the hobby of 1/6 collecting is moving, the direction it's headed, is higher quality figures and less available figures. Availability for most releases is still very reasonable. I mean, with most pre-order windows, they're open for months at a time. Most things in life, they do have an expiration date. So it's beneficial for the health of the hobby long-term if availability too has that expiration date. Limited availability is likely to result in increased engagement among collectors, and it also results in an increased valuation of the brand and the elimination of dead stock, which is important. So with Hot Toys releasing around like 80 figures a year, it's pretty vital that retailers not be overburdened with stock they can't sell without significant discount. The evidence of that is pretty clear. And again, all that to say, the direction that Hot Toys collecting, and really I feel 1/6 collecting as a whole is headed, is quality over quantity. And as some would say, buy nice or buy twice. Guys, thank you so much for sticking with me, but now it's your turn. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the changing Hot Toys landscape, about the changing 1/6 collecting hobby landscape. Let me know your pre-order process, what you like to do moving forward, what's working best for you nowadays, and what do you project the future to look like for your collection? Are you gonna pre-order more Hot Toys figures, less? Are you gonna buy more higher end stuff like, the artisan line, or maybe even in-art figures or something else along those lines? I would love to hear where you think your collection is headed so we can have that discussion. Guys, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed this content, subscribe to the channel for so much more, and click that notification bell so you're notified when content goes live on this channel. We have review videos, we have a live drop live streams, we have live streams every Friday, Lights Camera Collect with Kiko Collects, always a great time there. A lot of other stuff on this channel is going to be really important, preview videos, updates, news. You can follow me on Instagram, will.foxification, for all things related to 1/6 scale collecting news. I'm going to be posting reels and other updates on that page as well soon, so be on the lookout. That page is going to get a lot more valuable for you shortly. Again, if you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching. You guys have been amazing. I always appreciate the support. Be on the lookout for more content in the future. There's some reviews and other types of content that are coming out. A new Strangers video soon where I hit the town and interview some people. That's going to be happening soon, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye.